You know what's a shame is that Destination X 2014 was only 2 hours and it was on Spike TV. If TNA was going to have a kind of midsummer pay per view, maybe this needs to be it again because this show was really damn good, really damn enjoyable. Imagine another hour with more in ring action. This show would have been one of the better shows that TNA had on an official pay per view in a long period of time. In fact, I'm keeping my review of Destination X 2014 relatively short, sweet, and to the point. And the reason being is I feel like if I spend too much time on it and talk about it too much, I'll tend to go into the over analysis category and I will nitpick too many things that maybe don't necessarily need to be nitpicked because at the end of the day, this was a really enjoyable show. Perfect? No. One thing I didn't like about it? Yes. But everything else I really liked. Like you've got the Wolves defending their tag titles against the Hardy Boys. And, the match wasn't perfect. It wasn't a 5-star classic, nor did it need to be, nor did I expect it to be. But did they get time? Yes. Did they set up to this? Yes. Did they sit there and go out there and tell a story that was necessary and required within the time allotted to them in this match? Yes. Did the right team win? Yes. Did the right team win in the right way? Yes. Did the post-match aftermath go over the right way? Yes. The handshake and the bow of deference, that was really well done. This was a very good match, a pay-per-view worthy match. I also like how with Destination X 2014, they did keep it primarily about the X Division. They kicked a lot of the other crap out of the way and said, no, this needs to be the spotlight and the focus this week. You had 3 different X Division qualifying matches. The winner of each of those 3 matches will get to wrestle for the X Division title, I believe, come next week. Your 3 winners are Low Key, and they actually bothered to give you a little vignette, a little setup to Low Key's appearance this week. I wanted to see that last week, but they did it here this week, and that's good. Low Key is a good fit for the X Division, and I'm glad to see him back in the X Division in TNA. And then you have Sanada win. And more importantly than that is you have James Storm before Sanada appears kind of talking about what he's doing, setting up potentially to a Sanada Muta match down the road, maybe at Bound for Glory, or a Storm Muta match, maybe at Bound for Glory, whatever the case might be. There's actual story here now with Sanada. You're trying to do something different with this character. He wins his match. And then, Samoa Joe winning the other match. I'm never going to complain about Samoa Joe getting pushed or featured in some way. The only, I guess, minor complaint, a very minor complaint I would have had, is that there was no Kenny King. But it is what it is. Only thing I really didn't like about the show was that they devoted multiple promo segments to Destination X, to stuff that wasn't actually going to transpire on Destination X. Dixie and her crew have one promo segment, and then Bully Ray and his crew have one promo segment. I just didn't think it was necessary. I just didn't think it was required. I just didn't think it was needed on this show. I think this crap you could have all wrapped up into one segment, and that's fine. But 2 of them I thought was a bit unnecessary. But they eventually got the crap out of the way and focused on the most important thing of the night, which to me and to TNA rightfully was Austin Aries cashing in Option C and taking his shot at Bobby Lashley in the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And seeing Bobby Lashley as the World Heavyweight Champion is refreshing in so many different ways. Here is a black man that is holding a major wrestling company's #1 belt. Here is a black man as a world champion that also is not being asked to shuck and jive or dance or rap or sit there and have hose. None of that stereotypical prejudicial, racist crap. Here's a serious, badass, destroying, battle-toed mofo that isn't going to take any shit off of anybody, isn't afraid of anybody. And what I really like about him as the champion is that he doesn't back down. He's not scared. He's taking on all comers, and he's also beating all comers based off of what he can legitimately do. I really enjoyed this match between Austin Aries and Bobby Lashley. I thought, personally, in my opinion, this was Bobby Lashley's best title match to date as the world champion. This was really damn good, and I'm so glad to see that TNA had enough sense to understand that this match needed a main event Destination X. No other stupid crap, none of this and none of that, that this needed to main event the show. It was the right main event. And I also like the shtick, too, of you're establishing that these other guys might be a threat to Bobby Lashley, but he pounces on a mistake of theirs and then still finds a way to beat them clean. He's not sitting there and low-blowing guys. You're not using ref bumps. You're not using any of this bullshit. It's the anti-Magnus title reign, and it's incredibly refreshing in this day and age to see a dominant heel world champion in a major wrestling company. I wish a certain company up north would follow suit and understand that this is the way sometimes you need to book a heel champion. And in particular, I love the way that Bobby Lashley feels like a special attraction. You still see him pretty much every week, but you see him in a minimized type of way that makes it feel like a big deal when you do see him. I loved a lot of elements about this show. The only other thing I really questioned was the fact that they basically gave away what was going to happen next week with Dixie Carter and a table. That was kind of a head scratcher. Yes, just because it got leaked out on the internet doesn't mean that you should be spoiling it yourself unless you're hoping that that's going to get more people to tune in. I don't really know. But it didn't ruin my enjoyment of this show at all because, again, Destination X 2014 was really damn good. I might argue, besides some of the other crap, it was the best pure show that TNA maybe has done, in my book, in all of 2014. If you're looking for a reason to have some hope or some optimism about TNA, if you're looking to maybe try to get back into TNA, watch Destination X, and maybe it will help change your mind just a little bit and get you to start thinking about the positives of the company a little bit more, because this show is really good and worth the 2 hours, no question.